Red Hat 7 is one of the operating systems that is actually using a different way of starting the system up. And I'm actually in a CentOS system here, which is binary identical to Red Hat Enterprise Linux. I'm in a CentOS system. It's going to look exactly like a Red Hat Enterprise Linux system. I'm doing this to demonstrate one of the different ways of managing the system startup and services startup. With Red Hat Enterprise Linux, rather than the old init system, Red Hat is now using a different system called systemd. Systemd manages run levels differently, it manages services differently. Lots of things change under systemd as compared to init. The directory where all of the files are is in etc systemd, and if I were to go into system, you could see some more of the configuration settings here. What we've got rather than run levels 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with systemd, we have targets instead. So you'll see, for example, graphical target, and you'll see multi-user target, and you'll see the NFS target. All of those targets, they are equivalent to different run levels. So the graphical target, for example, is equivalent to run level 5. The multi-user target is equivalent to run level 3. Rather than just setting the run level using init, what we're going to do is use the command systemctl. So I could run systemctl, and I could say get default. And this is going to tell me the default run level for this particular system. In this case, the default is the graphical target. Not surprising, I'm in the graphical user interface. I can change the target similar to what we did under init. I could do sudo systemctl isolate graphical.target. Now, this is going to switch me over to the graphical target where I already am, but that's how I would do that. And I'll show you switching over to the multi-user target in a second, but since it's going to boot me out of the graphical interface, let me just show you one other thing first. I can do systemctl set default, and then I could say multi-user.target. And that would actually set the default to be the multi-user target. So whenever I boot it up, so if I were to reboot, it would bring me into the multi-user. And if I were to type multi-user correctly, it would help. So multi-user target. And let me just show you what the multi-user target looks like. So we're going to switch over. It's going to boot me out here of the graphical user interface. And let me just show you what it looks like to change using systemctl isolate multi-user.target. So you're going to see the screen change here when this actually runs, and we are dropping back to just a plain console interface. So now I can log in as me. I haven't changed the default here, so I can still run systemctl and get default, and you will see that the default has remained the same graphical target. So I can switch back now, isolate graphical.target. So this is how I would change the run level. Rather than running init, I would run systemctl, and it's going to switch the run level just as running init3 did. I would be running isolate graphical.target for run level 5, multi-user target for run level 3. If I wanted to switch to single user mode, I could do the target for single user mode. You've got a different way of managing run levels under systemd as we did under init. And of course, the service management changes as well. The way of getting the list of services, we're going to use systemctl for that. So run levels are still run levels, but rather than calling them run levels, we call them targets under the systemd setup that manages the boot and service startup of a Linux system, specifically the Red Hat distributions like Red Hat Enterprise Linux and Fedora Core.